Hey guys, today I want to talk about something else that I've gone through, and this is kind of a continuation of the videos I make where I try to talk about things that I went through so that anybody who stumbles upon this video will see it. And if you've gone through anything like this, you can relate to me and you'll at least feel understood. Like there are other people like you, you're not just alone, because even now, I have never really seen anybody talk about what I'm going to talk about today on YouTube. And it really, whenever I do find a video where people are actually honest and take off the mask and really just show what they really feel about stuff or what they really went through, it always helps me to feel understood if I know that other people have gone through what I went through. And I always feel like a close connection to that kind of thing. And with this kind of topic, it's really common, especially in modern American culture, but I don't really see anybody talking about it, at least to the depth that I feel it and that I want people to know. And I want anybody to be able to relate to what I'm saying and to feel like they're not alone. So what I'm going to talk today about is what it feels like to be a kid who grew up with divorced parents. And more specifically, because this is my experience, I want to talk about what it feels like to have two kind of families, but not really, when your parents get divorced and then get remarried to other people. Because like divorced parents is one thing, but that is a complete other thing that nobody really talks about. Probably because, yeah, it happens, I guess, but compared to just being divorced, it's probably pretty uncommon. But I'll start with just in general about divorced parents, right? So I feel like even with those, once that happens, it depends what age you are as a kid, but I think everybody, at least if it's not too young, they can remember when they had a real family, when their actual mom and actual dad were together, and it was like a real family with you and your mom and dad, and maybe any siblings you have. And then when that gets taken away from you, it's like your one little safety bubble, right, of your whole family, where at least everybody in here is loving you and on your side. They should be, at least. And then everybody out here, like the dangerous world where there's like mean people or people don't really care about you, because, you know, in the real world, people don't really care about you like your family does. It gets taken away. Either your mom moves out or your mom moves out, and your dad moves out or your mom moves out, and you're alone with either one of them or not both of them. And most of the time, you can't really have that same kind of relationship with one or not both of them, because they don't live together. So either you live completely with your mom or dad, which means you don't see the other one at all, or you spend half your time with your mom, half the time with your dad, which means you're spending like half as much time with each of them as you did before they got divorced. And it's not the same when one's alone and the other's alone. And like obviously when they're together, they can also afford like a much better house to live in because they're combined. But when one's separate and the other's separate, they usually have a much smaller place. One, because they don't need it, and two, because they're alone. They can't afford it, most likely. And that happens, and it feels like you don't even have a family anymore. Especially when you grow up with them both, and it just completely gets taken away. You feel like you don't have a family anymore. Like, when it's young, especially, like the younger you are, the harder it is, obviously. Because if you can grow up until you're like 18, and then they leave, yeah, it's annoying and you don't like it, but it's not like it destroys your childhood and those years you have growing up with your family. You can at least have those without being interrupted. But when they leave like that, whenever you think about what a family feels like, especially me now, who's much older, I literally cannot think what it feels like to have a family. I can't remember it. I don't know. When I picture a family in my head, I can't really imagine anything. It's just like an empty spot where something should be, but I don't feel anything. Like I don't know what that is. All I can remember when I think of family is the brief time when I was a kid and they didn't get divorced yet. But that's like very small in my head. It was like when I was 9. That was so long ago. Like I don't remember anything. And when I think about like the future or like the general definition of a family, whenever people think about that, they put their own family in their head as that definition, because that's the only family you can really understand. Your mom, your dad, maybe your brother. But I don't have that. I don't know. Like, I don't really know what it feels like. And that's, like, kind of scary, more sad, honestly. Like, I want to know what a family feels like. I don't know. I have no idea. To have a family and to be the kid with two parents who love you and are amazing and treat you well and try to raise you and everybody's safe, like you feel comfortable to be around everybody. But after they leave, you have nobody. And now I'm going to start talking about like the even higher level, which is when they get remarried to other people. That truly feels like I have no family, because if you live with either of them, it's not your family anymore. It's like some weird amalgamation of diluted family where there's like one family member and then like a bunch of weird strangers around you, whether it be, their new spouse and their kids or their spouse's parents. Like it just completely dilutes and contaminates your family, because it's not just your family anymore where you at least feel comfortable. Even if you don't spend as much time with them as you want, you'll always have a sense of comfort with your mom or dad. But then when your dad and your mom both remarry and they live with the new people, the new spouse and kids or whatever they are, it becomes so much more confusing and hard, because not only do they have their own family now, they have the new families, and you're kind of left in this weird middle gray zone where you're not really this one or that one, but also it's like there's weird people that even if you like them, they're not your family. Even if their step parents are cool, they're not your actual family. So when you live there, it feels weird. Like, I remember when I was a kid and I had no problem just going out in the living room, walking out whatever time, it didn't matter. Get food, whatever, just chilling in the living room. But once your parents get divorced, and especially when they get remarried, like, I don't feel comfortable doing that anymore. I just stay in my room because I don't really want to have to make small talk with a stranger that I don't really care about or know that well. I mean, God forbid you don't like them. It's bad enough if they're a stranger, but like, if they're bad people and you don't like them, you're fucked. You're done for. Like, that's what I mean. You don't even want to come out of your room, which is like such a sad thing, but it creates like a habit in you that like you don't have any family. You have like your dad and their family and your mom and their family, and then you have nobody. You have no family. Like, they all have their own lives and you have nothing, and you just stay in your room, and naturally you're gonna like go farther and farther away from whichever family that is, because if your dad has their own family and you don't like to be around them, you're not going to come out of your room. You're going to stay in your room, and that's it. Like, you're not going to really have a relationship with them anymore, which destroys your entire sense of family. And it's what makes it so hard to live as a kid with divorced parents, because you don't really feel like you belong anywhere. Usually, anytime you have any struggle as a person or a kid, you can always rely on your family to understand you and back you up, hopefully. And you have a sense of comfort and belonging and community with your family. But when you don't have that, like, what do you have? Maybe they'll take care of you if you really need it, and maybe they still love you, but you don't know what it feels like to have that. You don't have that. You don't have a sense of family where everybody's one. It's like a diluted family where there's like half family, and then half strangers with you that you don't really know that well, and you didn't choose. Like, you don't, yeah, maybe you don't choose your mom and dad, but you have like a more higher tolerance for them. If you don't even know these people and they choose bad step parents or they have kids that you don't like, you already are not going to like them because they're not even your family at that point. So there's no way you're going to like them if you don't even like them to begin with. Like, there's no way that, like, because they're not family, you're not going to like them. You're not going to care. And it's going to cause a problem between you and your actual parent, because obviously they chose these people. So they're going to like them. So if you don't like them, you're going to get in trouble, and it's just going to isolate you even more. And I hope that people can understand and feel what I feel, and so that they know that they're not alone. You feel the same way. Like, yeah, maybe people make jokes about having, double Christmas or whatever, but like, it's really sad and a really bad feeling that you just want a family. Like a real family where you can have your role and everybody knows you and understands you. And you can be understood and loved, and people care about you and will take care of you. And no matter where you go, no matter what happens to you, you always have your room, your house, the place where you know as a family to be comfortable to you. You know, whenever you come back from college or you want to travel and you come back, if you need somewhere to stay, you always have that place where it's comfortable for you, where you know where your family is. But when your parents get divorced, you have nothing. You don't have that anymore. Most of the time, they're going to move out. The other one's going to move somewhere else, smaller maybe. You move a bunch of times. You don't have a family. You don't have a house. You don't have a room. And that feeling of comfort or belonging or community is nowhere you don't have a role anywhere anymore. It's like you're just in the middle of nothing. Like you don't have this side or that side. Your family's just split and you're in the middle, just alone. And it makes me feel, honestly, whenever I see my friends or anybody else who have like a happy family with their parents and then them with their siblings, and you see them on a vacation or something, and they're all like, they all know each other really well, and they're all like happy with each other and they love each other. You know, everybody's got a relationship with somebody. Like the mom and the daughter have a good relationship. The mom and the son have a good relationship. And the dad and the son have a good relationship. And the dad and the sister have a good relationship. And they all know each other well. It's not like, oh, there's like the dad and the son and then like the step parent and their kid, and it's like kind of in the middle with like a weird divide. No, it's just a family. Everybody's comfortable with each other. Everybody knows each other. And I see that on social media and I'm like, it's not like I'm envious or mad or anything. It's just like a genuine feeling of, wow, is that what it looks like to have a family? Like, what would that even feel like? I have no idea. Because even in my own family, I feel like a stranger. I am a stranger. And it's a really sad feeling to have because I'm like, I don't even remember what that would feel like. And so when I see that, I'm just like, what should I be feeling here? What would that even feel like? I wish I could just have that where I have people around me that actually understand me and know me. But as a kid from a divorced parent, you don't have that. And I'm sure a lot of you guys have felt that too. When you see these people online or you see your friends with their family and like you just don't even know what it would feel like. It seems so weird to you that people could do that, or that people could act like that, or that there could be like real family that close, because it's so alien to you that anything could be like that, because your lived experience of a family is nothing like that. I hope you guys can relate to this. That's it. See ya.